Roommate stole from me, so her wallet vanished. Back in college, I had better credit than my 3 other roommates, so I put our internet TV under my name. Otherwise, the deposit would have been $600. The cable company offered me a $300 Visa gift card upon sign-up. 2 months later, I called them because the gift card never arrived. They tell me they sent it a few weeks ago, and eventually I'm able to find out from Visa that someone used it at the Whataburger Target and liquor store near my house. I'm pissed off because obviously one of my roommates has used it, but I didn't know which one. A few weeks later, roommate #2 complains that their $200 birthday gift card to Target has gone missing. His mom still had the receipt, and the store was able to tell her that someone used it at the Target near our house. He's obviously pissed off too, but we've now realized it's probably one of the other 2 roommates. A couple weeks after that, roommate #3's wallet disappears. We turned the house upside down looking for it, and we knew it had to be in the house because her car key is attached to her wallet, and her car is parked at the house. She is absolutely frantic, sobbing, screaming, hyperventilating, etc., throwing shit everywhere and just having an absolute meltdown while tearing the house apart. We had never seen her behave like this, so we're all kind of surprised she'd be that upset about her wallet. It's stressful, sure, but I genuinely was concerned about how she was reacting. She says the gift card thief must have taken it, implying it is roommate #4, the only person who hasn't had something stolen yet. A few days after that, I found her wallet in the trunk of my car. We had gone to get groceries together, and I guess she just laid it in the trunk while we were unloading. I'm like, holy shit, I found her wallet. And then I open it up because I'm just excited to confirm that I did indeed find her wallet. Bam! Both stolen gift cards front and center, no doubt. The Visa gift card has my name printed on it, and roommate #2's mom had written something in Sharpie on his gift card. I realized she had a meltdown because she was afraid we'd find out she was the thief. I left the wallet, cash and all, right where it was, pushed up against the inner lip of the trunk so you couldn't see it unless you leaned farther into the car. A locksmith wouldn't make her new keys without the title, and the title was in the glove box of her locked car. All in all, she spent about $500 replacing her DL, title, and keys, not to mention not being able to drive her car for 2 weeks. I moved out of state with her wallet still in my car, finally tossed it in trash several months later. Sometimes the universe assists you with petty revenge. Edit. Holy cow, I did not expect this to take off. Sorry if you see this, Chelsea, it was me. This happened 10+ years ago, and I am happy to report that we've all gone to therapy since then and are thankfully no longer terrible human beings. Couple things to address. Why didn't you confront her? I hated confrontation, was a huge people pleaser / wanted everyone to like me, and enjoyed watching her suffer. Again, therapy. I'm thankfully no longer like this. Visa gift cards don't have names. Google Comcast Visa promo card real quick. The Target gift card itself said happy birthday, and my friend's mom wrote, to my favorite son underneath. It was still semi-legible when I found her wallet. Locksmiths don't make car keys. Apparently some do. In the end, she had her car towed to the dealership. I do remember she called a locksmith the first day her wallet was missing because she initially thought the wallet was in her car. She was super mad that the locksmith charged her for the weekend visit without actually unlocking her car. Was he taking advantage of a stupid college girl? Maybe. This was over a decade ago. I was 21 and I'm sure my vodka-addled brain did not fully absorb the details of her whole ordeal. Turn her into the cops. Bro, have you met college students? Do you know how much illegal shit they do? It briefly crossed my mind, but petty revenge was far more satisfying. She had an absolute meltdown and missed a few days of work at a newish job dealing with all of this. Story 2. I got a little girl in trouble on purpose. I have a 1-year-old son, and we decided to go to the playground one day. On this day, a bunch of kids were there, among whom was a bratty 4-yo-or-so girl who had a mean streak to her. My son, who didn't know better, went close to her and she just tells him, "What are you doing here? You're not invited here." I agree I kinda didn't like my son being bullied, but I figured he doesn't understand these things yet, and I didn't want to be one of those sensitive helicopter parents who shield their kids from everything. So I just took my son and we played elsewhere. Later on, I see that her grandma was there, and it seemed like she's not one of those loosey-goosey grandma. So while the girl was close to her grandma, and it dawned on me I could bait her to be mean to my kid in front of Granny, so I placed my son close to her since I figured out he wouldn't understand anyways. And it worked. She said, "You're not welcome here. Go away." and her grandma heard, and she got in trouble, and the grandma said they now will go home since she can't be nice. She fought it, but couldn't do anything. Part of it, I think Granny just wanted to go home, lol. ETA. I'm sorry for the lack of clear communication on my part, but for those who say my 1YO needs to learn boundaries, yes, I do agree, and I do try to teach him. For example, he'll want to just grab other kids' toys like toy cars or balls when other kids fling them around, but I never let him touch it and communicate with him why it's important to not touch other people's things without their consent. For the girls asserting her boundaries part, as much as I am for boundaries, she was gathered in the middle of the top of the playground structure, where kids access the slides and fiddle with marbles on the walls. So I don't really think she or her group should be asserting their boundaries or personal space when they're in a shared space and a supposed throwaway for other kids. And she was also doing it to other kids, not just mine. Hope this helps. Story 3. My guidance counselor told me I wasn't university material, and years later I pretended not to know her. I know it doesn't sound much like revenge, but it was oh so sweet, let me tell you. Back in high school, I struggled hard. I had a stepdad who adopted me and then ignored me my whole life, and a mom who was wrapped up in making his life perfect. Yeah, he was what some might call a textbook narcissist, with my mom as his flying monkey, Wizard of Oz reference. Anyway, school was a difficult time for me, and I had a lot of anxiety and a hard time focusing. I attended all my classes, and was always doing very well on my assignments, but had trouble completing them. My guidance counselor was the same all through high school, and every year would start with a meeting with her, and I would explain I needed more help because I was struggling to focus. She brushed me off every time, stating that I obviously wasn't trying hard enough because I had no excuse, since my stepdad, adopted dad, was, wait for it, a social worker for the school board and personal friend of hers. Yeah, it was awful. At the end of high school, we had our obligatory meeting about what colleges, universities, or trade schools to apply to. I told her I was interested in psychology and would like to be a counselor or to teach psychology. This woman scoffed, literally scoffed at me. She said, and I quote, "Please do not apply to university. It would be a huge disappointment for you. You are not university material, and you may be better with a community college or even certificate in administration." Now let me say, there is nothing wrong with going to community college or getting a certificate in something. Nothing at all. But this woman's words would haunt me my whole life. I wanted to pursue something I was very interested in, and she essentially told me I wasn't smart enough or capable enough to do it. Fast forward to my late 20s. I worked at a variety of small jobs here and there and became very depressed. I finally decided one day that F***CK it, I'm applying for university. Well, I got in and I graduated with honors. So I went to teacher's college for another bachelor degree. Again, graduated with honors. And about 5 years ago, I finally finished my master's in behavioral psychology. 2 years ago, stepdad died. And who is at the visitation? My old guidance counselor. She came right over and started talking to me immediately like she knew me, like we're old friends. I cut her off and said, "I'm so sorry, you must be confusing me with someone else." She looked absolutely shocked and said, "I was your guidance counselor for 4 years. And I just shook my head and gave the best blank look I could give, shrugged and said, "Sorry, I honestly don't remember you." When I left, she looked a bit confused and disappointed. I think she had hoped for me to have all of these good memories of her, how helpful she was to me as a teen. But nope, I wanted her to feel that she was nothing to me, had zero effect. Even though she did affect me, I wasn't letting her know that. I felt pretty good about that.